Hi, this is Lucky Robin, and I want to talk to you today about my gardening method. Well, as you know, I mostly garden in 2-foot tall raised beds, and I like to use all biological inputs. And by that I mean that if it doesn't exist naturally, I don't use it in my garden. I want to be as completely organic as I possibly can. So to that end, I won't use any chemicals or anything like that. And when I start my garden, I will build the raised bed, and then the very bottom layer of the raised bed will be cardboard. I'll put down cardboard. If I can't find enough cardboard, I will use paper feed bags to completely line the ground. And I'll do, if I'm using feed bags, I'll do several layers to make a weed barrier for the first year. After that, I'll put down a hot manure. I'll put down like chicken or turkey manure. And then on top of that, we'll go pine needles, twigs, and then grass clippings on top of that. And then we'll go to any other kind of weedy material that doesn't have any seed heads on it. So something like this would go in, something like this would not. After that gets up to about halfway, then I'll add another layer of manure. Now for that layer, I usually put duck manure in. The reason I use duck manure is because I just have so much of it. So the duck manure goes in the middle, and then I start my layer up again. I'll put in spent animal bedding, I'll put in hay, I'll put in more grass clippings, and then as I get to the top area, about 6 inches from the top, I'll put in about a 2-inch layer of rabbit manure, and then from there I will fill it the top with garden soil, either an organic 4-in-1 garden soil or compost that I have made from everything that I have done myself in the backyard. So at that point, we're at the top, and then that's generally about February. And we don't plant until the end of April. So things will be breaking down as you're building, because I start building in October usually, because we're still growing up until about then. And the hot manure will start breaking down when you put it in October. And then the stuff on top of it, you won't have to worry about the cold manure having to break down. So you'll probably be putting the first cold manure on about January. And then, so that'll be breaking down, and that'll be breaking down as you go, but it'll also be generating some heat even into spring 6 months later. So I have been able to plant a good 2 to 3 weeks before other people in this area. I've had lettuce come up on its own from seed from the year before, as early as 6 weeks before the last frost. So definitely do heat up, but they don't heat up, so they're not so hot by then. They've cooled down enough that you're not worried about any kind of root damage. Plus the hot manure is so low down that it's not a problem. So as the growing season progresses, or as it starts, I mean, you get your plants in. Well, you've got quite a ways for them to go down into cold manure before you ever have to worry about the roots being damaged. But by the time the roots go all the way down to the bottom layer, that manure has cooled off sufficiently. And so it won't burn those roots, and it'll continue to let off the nutrition that the plants that you've planted have needed. So, so it's a great method, and I mean, you can tell with the lushness of my garden how well it's been working. I've been really happy with it. On top of that, I use intensive planting methods so that the soil is seldom exposed to the air, to the sun. I mean, there's always plant matter covering it, and if there's not, there's a good reason for it. It's because I haven't gotten around to planting something new. But the less exposure to the air, the less your soil has a chance of drying out and blowing away. Now, I don't know if you can see, let's see, but just digging down a couple inches, the soil is moist and it is dark and really good looking. Even though this little bit on top here is a little bit darker, you just move it. And it's really nice. And I mean, you go down about 3 inches and it feels completely wet. So, and if you, at this point in the gardening year, if I dig down in here, everything has composted completely down. There isn't any straw or hay residue at all. So it does really well. And the produce I've been getting out of here has been amazing for the last couple years. So I think it's good. I think it's a good method. I'm really happy with what I've been getting. And so that's just a little bit more about what I do and how I do it.